What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So, I have good news and I have bad news. Which do y'all want to hear first? Well, if you said bad news, too bad. I'm going to give you the good news first. So, first thing, good news. Look, we got her painted. Well, most of it painted. I kind of ran out of some of the paint, so I'm going to have to order some more. But we got most of the body here painted, and we got a lot of these pieces in the bed back here. They're just finally curing up some. I'm sure y'all can tell I had some bleed through from the paint over there with the green onto the black, but I'm gonna get some black and I'll touch all that up. I did have issues with tape wanting to stick to this texture in here. It is that bed liner stuff that just really doesn't want tape to stick to it. I think she's looking pretty good. I think that gray green here really pops with the black. So actually over the past few weeks, we've been having very rainy, humid weather here, and I got one day to spray this thing, and so I got it done. I took off work and I got this thing sprayed. Now I am gonna have to spray the other pieces before I have the whole hard top and everything back on here fully painted. But I actually do have the hard top over here painted. As you can tell, I did not paint the underside of the roof. I do have some insulation that I'm actually going to be sticking on this with some 3M90 adhesive. That should help us quite a bit with some sound coming off of that, and then also the heat. We really need a heat barrier on this, especially in Texas. Well, there you could kind of see her a little bit. She's leaned up here because I do not have enough space for all of this stuff to lay out in this shop. Oh, well, there's our windshield frame. You know, the color of this really just does not come out in camera. This looks very, very gray. It is actually a green gray. And I actually like this. It kind of changes color in different light, especially over camera here. Very much looks gray, but there is definitely green to this. All right, now for the bad news. So whenever I set this up, I needed to spray the whole thing, everything I could, in just one day, because that was the one day I had that the weather was good enough to basically spray all of this. And whenever I had everything set up out there, I set up the camera to do a time lapse. Now, the camera was going fine, time lapse seemed to be going fine and everything, but basically whenever I got done with this, I cannot find that footage on my camera or my computer or anything, so I really don't know exactly what happened with it. Now, I really didn't plan on doing a step-by-step on how to paint this anyway. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there that shows you how to shoot this stuff. The steps are pretty simple in the instructions, you just follow those. And to get the even texture at the end, just make sure you do a dust coat on everything, and that'll really help. So this is the insulation that I got for the roof panel. It was, I think, supposed to be a little bit thicker in this, but I ended up getting a 16-foot roll. Now this is 4 foot wide, and a 16-foot roll, because I measured on the bottom of the roof panel with the curves and everything, was 7.5 feet or so. So this I should be able to cut in half and use 2 rows of it. The 4 foot width is actually going to help because we'll be able to try to hide that seam in here. I'll try to trim down the 4 foot. I believe midpoint here is going to be about 3 feet. So we'll basically trim off about 1 foot, and we're going to try to hide the seam basically where the B pillar is going to go. That way, once this is on, you're actually not going to be able to see the seam at all. Well, there we go. I think my camera kind of cut out there, but it is all done and stuck down. Went over just basically with my hand and kind of just pushed it all down really well. I don't have one of the little rollers, and the only roller I have is kind of like a paint roller. I can get more pressure with my hand pushing it down than a paint roller, so I went ahead and just did it with my hand. But she fits in there pretty nice. I basically tried to tuck it up and do it just to the edge of these side pieces that rivet and bolt on. Ended up being a good place to stop. I also went ahead and riveted in place our little vents again. Now I just painted the vent part kind of a shiny black, and behind it is just the same green color. So it'll match everything in here still. I have also mounted our windshield mounts to the body, getting this ready to put that windshield frame back on there. Alright, next weekend already, and as you can tell, I already got the glass back in here and all these panels back on here. I did go with a new seal around the glass, and this is pretty much done. Now I did leave all of these mounts a little bit loose, so whenever I go to line it up, we have a little bit of play so I can get them in place where they need to go. And then we'll put the pins in there and get it all set and tighten everything down. Our little roof liner is still holding up well, and it looks like everything's stuck down really well on there. I don't see any bubbling or any trying to peel up of any of that. So on our dash piece here, I went ahead and put our turn signal back in there. I also created these little lights. This is the wait to start light and basically the parking brake light or whatever. They're just regular LEDs, and I created them out of, I created the mounting block out of some thick acrylic. You don't necessarily have to do this. The other two kind of work with a 12 volt, but they're just not very bright at all. I'm out here getting everything prepped to get ready to put this windshield back on. I got our new seal here. There's another seal that goes here, but I actually have it on the windshield piece itself. I have the dash pieces back in place. This is bolted in. That's not bolted in yet really, because it bolts in from the bottom. Whenever you put the little piece on that actually has the Zeus fasteners for the doghouse cover. So I've called in some help for the windshield because I have the glass in place already and the windshield wiper motors on there, and the thing's actually pretty heavy now. So I am really going to need some help getting this up here and fitting it into the slots that need to go there. So a lot of my time now has been spent kind of cleaning up pieces like this, sanding them down, getting them ready to paint. Now I have them laid out here because I just got done degreasing them. They're drying up. And next step, I'll hit them with some primer and then paint them. There we have it. She's coming together piece by piece. Hard top went back on pretty well, pretty easy. Just lifted up over the back, then up on top, and then just set it in place. Also went ahead and put our windshield pins in here. Those are all in place. The dash is in. I'm still painting up a few little pieces. I think the headliner in it actually looks pretty good with just the silver. I'm gonna leave it that way for a while. Actually, I may just leave it that way forever, but I don't really know if I really want to worry about upholstering over the top of it or not. It seems to do just fine as a headliner as it is. We still need to paint our back curtain and also our tailgate there. I actually just got in another kit here, the same stuff, which is weird. This time it actually came in the same type of bottles that Raptor liner comes in, which probably just goes to show you it's probably the same exact stuff. Anyway, so we got that paint in so we can paint that other stuff coming up whenever I get a good day. Again, forecast is not looking good though. Alright, I got a few more things done this weekend. I went ahead and wrapped this with that Mishimoto high temp kind of shielding. It's just kind of a stick-on shield. You can actually see where it's kind of wrapped around the back side there. But this is the little shield that goes back up underneath here that protects all kind of your ducting and stuff that goes up under here for your heater unit and everything. That I went ahead and wrapped because we do have our turbo up here. It is going to be a pretty high heat area up in here. I will also do the doghouse cover once I get that made. That's probably going to take a while in itself to do just that piece. Also got our little pulls here cleaned up for our heater unit. Well, something that's going to be a little difficult here to show y'all. I actually wrapped the inside of this tub with the same kind of heat shielding, the high temp. And you can see a little bit from where I cut out the holes that we're going to need later. I do plan on doing that on the other side as well, but I need to kind of check to see how much I have. I do have a couple more, so I think I should be able to get that side done and the doghouse cover. So after I went ahead and painted up our parking brake lever here, I went ahead and mounted it in place. I did go ahead and create a different type of boot on this. Now the one I had on there, they had just painted over the top of. It was all cracking and coming apart. It was really not good anymore, so I ended up just creating one. The metal piece there I took out of the old one. I cut the rubber off of it and ended up cleaning up and painting it up. Then the rubber boot, or whatever you want to call that there, I ended up just cutting out of a piece of flat rubber and trying to make it to where basically it kind of seals up after it's in place so we don't drop anything down in there. We also got a few more dash pieces in here. Now our ignition here used to be tan. I went ahead and stripped that all with paint, got it just to be silver. I went ahead and put our little air filter vacuum indicator on here as well. Now I don't know if I'm actually going to really hook that right back up or not, but it fills the hole for now and I don't have anything that needs to go there yet. The brake pedal that we got painted up, I also went ahead and installed that and our little brake pedal switch. A lot of the things now that I'm kind of working on are just kind of small things, cleaning up old parts, getting them painted, and trying to get them installed again. Well, one of the next big things that we're going to be trying to tackle as well is the harness from the Humvee, the old harness that was in the Humvee that kind of snaked up in here and everything. We need to get that back out of there and start kind of running those wires. Also got the info plates re-riveted in place, so those are nice, looking nice in here. And my front seats came in as well. Now I haven't ordered the back seats yet because I don't know what'll fit back there well without taking up all the leg room in those back seats. I'd rather them be maybe a little bit uncomfortable but actually still be usable than look very comfortable but nobody can fit in them. So if you kind of want a little sneak peek of what the front seats look like, go ahead and head over to the Instagram. It's the same as my YouTube channel. I usually post some things there a little bit sooner than I post on YouTube, and it's really just to give some people some sneak peeks on things if they really kind of want to look into it further. I am not going to get these out this video though, because I'm going to have a whole nother video on how to mount these things up whenever I get around to deciding how I want to do that. So that was another a little bit different video there. I kind of just showed more of what I got done with it and how it's coming along than actually how I'm doing all the work and mounting things back in place. So let me know in the comments if you like this a little bit better, just being able to see things as they're coming together than me actually working on every little tiny piece. Or if you like the other better, let me know as well. But I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all next time.